Hi, friend. It's your inner child calling. And they want churros. A new toy. And a new adventure. Or maybe 5. With the bestest besties on Earth. Find your moment at Walt Disney World Resort.
You know you've got a comeback in you. When you take the next step, you're going to make it count. For your career, for your family, for your life. You can earn a degree you're proud of with Purdue Global. Purdue Global is backed by Purdue University, one of the nation's most respected and innovative public universities. This is your chance. This is your opportunity. This is your comeback. Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu.
Hello, my name is Adrienne Bain. I'm a producer at Wonder Media Network, and I'm excited to be guest hosting this episode of Womanica. This month, we're diving into the divas of history, examining how the label has been used from many angles, whether describing women pejoratively or with admiration. No single word can describe today's Womanican, and if it could, she wouldn't like it. In her epic career, she strutted down the runway, headlined concerts, karate-chopped James Bond villains, posed for Andy Warhol, and danced through the decades in New York's hottest clubs. She enticed and intimidated audiences with her androgynous look and fierce attitude. And she still does today. Please, put your hands together for Grace Jones. Rebellion has always been in Grace's bones. She was born in 1948 in Jamaica. Her parents left for the United States when she was young. So, Grace was raised by her strict religious grandparents and their pressure to conform. When she acted out, her grandparents told her to climb a tree and pick a thin branch for them to whip her with. By age 13, her rebellious spirit had taken flight. She moved to Syracuse, New York, to live with her parents. 2 years later, she became a go-go dancer. Standing barefoot, she was already 5'10" and a half. Her short haircut highlighted her sharp jawline, full lips, and majestic eyes. Grace stood out, even if she didn't want to. But she did, and she reveled in it. By 18, she had been scouted by Wilhelmina models, and her career continued to pick up speed. In 1970, she moved to the epicenter of modeling, Paris. Her unique look, poise, and unmatched confidence landed her on the cover of 4 magazines within the first 3 months. The biggest designers clamored for her to walk their runways. At night, she was frequently found at Leatherette, a gay nightclub, where the glitter of disco balls spun over cocktail glasses. Grace danced until the sun came up. As she became more influential, she became more brazen, even arriving at a political party at the French capital wearing only a bone necklace and nothing else. It was no big deal, she remarked years later. She seemed to enjoy subverting people's expectations with her impish smile and tendencies. But Grace was more than a body to lay clothing on. She had a voice and wanted to use it. Many nights, she hosted cabaret parties, filling her apartment with singing and dancing. Her friends encouraged her to start a singing career. By 1977, Grace signed with Island, a British record company. Her first album featured many musical theater covers and French love songs. Not the kind of music you would find her dancing to at nightclubs. But her covers had their own twist. In her first studio album, Portfolio, she sang La Vie en Rose with shakers, wooden percussion claves, and acoustic guitar. The next track, she belts Tomorrow from Annie with a big brass band behind her. Her next album, Fame, was almost exclusively jazz covers. When people thought she would zag, she zigged. While working on her music videos, Grace met her next creative collaborator and boyfriend, the stylist and art director Jean-Paul Goude. He helped hone Grace's image, and together they had a son. When the 80s moonwalked in, Grace found a decade she could define. In 1980, her album Warm Leatherette was released, filled with electric guitars and synths. The album was critically acclaimed. Now, living in New York, Grace found new haunts. At Studio 54, she shared the dance floor with celebrities from Mick Jagger to Madonna. Then, she ran into Andy Warhol's crew. Warhol looked Grace up and down and knew he had to photograph her. They started a lifelong friendship. Warhol did several silkscreen prints of her portrait, inked in neon with Crayola red lips. With more clout came more creativity. Grace implicitly understood that her body was her canvas for her to project a message. In photographs, she mocked sexist and racist stereotypes and rebuffed the white standard of beauty. She embraced aggression and seemed pleased when people were intimidated by her. This reached its apex with the cover of her 1981 album, Nightclubbing. Grace got her iconic haircut, a crisp flat top, which heightened her androgynous aesthetic. On the cover, she stared down the center of the camera as a cigarette dangled straight down from the right side of her mouth. Nightclubbing totally rocked the scene. On it was Pull Up to the Bumper, which became a dancing sensation. The album became her highest-ranking record. It's around this time she also started appearing in films, roundhousing her way into the James Bond movie A View to Kill. She was a disco-swinging vampire in Vamp and a horseback-riding warrior next to Arnold Schwarzenegger in Conan the Destroyer. As she got older, she continued to perform in concerts and occasionally walk the red carpet. She released 2 new albums in the 2000s. In 2012, she performed her song Slave to the Rhythm at Buckingham Palace for the Queen of England at the Diamond Jubilee concert. She still attends Fashion Week in Paris and is now a grandmother. Throughout the years, she always knew how to maintain her craft and image. She never cared what others thought and knew she was too mesmerizing for them to turn away. Now in her 70s, to this day, nothing can and ever will contain Grace Jones. All month, we're talking about divas. For more information, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Womanica Podcast. Special thanks to Jenny and Liz Kaplan for letting me guest host this episode. Talk to you tomorrow.
For 25 years, Brightview Senior Living has been dedicated to creating an award-winning company culture so residents and families receive best-in-class services. Across our 50 communities, Brightview associates help deliver peace of mind, safety, security, transportation, daily programs, delicious food, and high-quality care if needed. Discover how our vibrant senior living communities can help you live your best life. Visit brightviewseniorliving.com to learn more. Equal housing opportunity.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/iHeart.